Today we're going to take a look at how to install these LED fog light mounts from Solidshift Concepts on your GX470. Let's go to the workbench and check it out. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is confirm that you received everything in your package. So each fog light mount is comprised of 5 different components. You've got the faceplate, the main housing, the side bracket, the retainer clip, and then the top bracket. Next, you want to be sure you have a Baja Design Squadron light and 2 Baja Designs S2 lights for each fog light assembly, plus their mounting hardware. You'll need some of the hardware for complete assembly of the fog light mount. To begin the assembly process, we're just going to cut off this zip tie that was included between the main housing and the faceplate during shipping. This keeps things from falling apart in the box on you. We're going to start by putting the Squadron light in. So, take your Squadron light and taking care to keep the main housing and the faceplate together. There are some tabs here to keep the parts aligned. If these do come apart, you want to be careful to slide everything back together horizontally and then press the tabs back in the faceplate. Feed the power cable through the bottom back slot of the main housing, like so, and then you can drop the Squadron light into that inner pocket there. So there are 2 mounting holes on the inside pocket for the Squadron light. So you want to ensure that the threaded hole of the Squadron is aligned with the mounting hole on this side and on this side here. We're going to take the 2 M6 button head screws here that were included with your Squadron light. Take them out of the packaging and set the packaging aside. You won't need any other hardware included with your Squadron light. Alright. So we're just going to get started on this side, and then make sure the holes are aligned, and you can get it started on this side as well. The screws included with the lights have some thread locker in the thread, so it does make it a little stubborn to get the screws in the first time, but this will help keep them from backing out, which is nice. Okay, that's tightened on that side, and we'll confirm that we are tight on the inside here. Alright, that is awesome. Alright, so the Squadron light is installed, and you'll notice that this kind of pulls the main housing and faceplate together, so that won't come apart anymore. Don't have to worry about that. And we'll move on to our next light. So same song and dance for the next S2 light. We're going to kind of run the power cable through the back of the faceplate and main housing there, and line up the threaded holes in the light with the mounting holes in the fog light mount. And we'll kind of swivel the light such that it's touching the wall of the faceplate there. And we'll take the M6 button head screws from the Baja Designs hardware kit for the S2, and we're going to use those to install the S2. Get that started on this top side, flip over to the bottom and get it started. Tighten the bottom down, and we'll flip over to the top side and tighten the top down. Okay, there we go. So this S2 light's been installed now. Time to install the third S2 light. Thread the power cord through and align the threaded holes with the mounting holes on the fog light mount. Be aware that it is intentional for this last S2 light to be angled outwards. That helps kind of cast some light off to the sides of the vehicle, kind of like a ditch light. So it'll fit in there at an angle relative to the first S2 light that you installed. Do note it is recommended to only use either the spot or the work scene lens on these S2 lights because they're rotated. So if you use the driving light, it will cast light vertically, which is not quite what most people would like in this setup. So just a note when you're purchasing your S2 lights to get the lenses spec'd that way. Alright, so with the remaining M6 button head screws from the last S2 hardware kit, we're going to go ahead and get that last light installed. But first we need to throw the top bracket in place on top of the top mounting hole. So that's simply going to drop in like this. There's a slot, and you'll notice that there's this tang on here that supports the part. That will point inwards, and then on the parts you receive, you'll have a U marking on the top of the part that needs to face up. I don't have that on this one because it's a pre-production model. But when you get it, make sure you've got the U facing up. That'll make sure you have the right side installed on the right housing. So we're going to drop this screw in here and get it started in the threaded hole. And that's cool. We're going to go ahead and do the same for the bottom. Alright, that's snugged up. And we'll go ahead and take the top here, snug it up. Okay. So we've gone through and confirmed all the lights were tightened up with their hardware. We've got the top bracket and the mounting hardware still on there, as well as the side bracket fully attached with the mounting hardware still on there. If you do, for whatever reason, ever need to remove this side bracket, which shouldn't really need to happen, but if it does come up, you'll need to pull the retainer clip out with some needle nose pliers first, and then push these locking tabs towards each other like this, and then pull it out that way. To install, just do that in reverse. So slide it in the T-slot until you hear a click. That's clicked into place, and then drop the retainer tab back in the slot there until it snaps into place. And that's it. You now have a fully assembled GX470 LED fog light mount from Solidshift. Now you just have to repeat for the other side, and then you're ready to throw these in the bumper and do all your wiring. We're going to need to get this factory fog light out of the bumper before we install the LED fog light mount, so we're going to start there. Alright, so all you have to do to get the factory fog light out is unplug the factory fog light harness, then unscrew this side bolt with a 10mm socket, and then there's a little tab that needs to be unclipped on the far side of the housing. After all those are undone, you should be able to just pull the fog light housing out of the front of the bumper. Alright, so here's the factory fog light. Here's that tab I was talking about compressing to pull the housing out. So now that that's free, all we need to do is take the M6 hardware off of the LED fog light mount. And we're going to feed the wires through the bumper and bolt into place with the included hardware. A bolt will go through the bumper where this tab used to pass through, and then another bolt will replace the bolt that was in the factory fog light housing here. So aside from doing your own wiring and everything to get these on a switchable circuit, that's all there is to the install of these GX470 LED fog light mounts. Hopefully this is clear for you all and you have a easy time putting these together. If you have any questions, please reach out to contact@solidshiftconcepts.com and we'll get you squared away. Thanks.